Real estate wholesaling is a business that relies heavily on you having the best data possible. I don't care who you are, if you're a guru, if you're just starting, you won't be successful if you don't have the best data that you can possibly get. Whether that means you're going to your local courthouse to pull their information, whether that means you're building your own list by driving for dollars, or you simply use a system like I do to get the information, that much faster. And so for the past 3 or 4 years, what I've been doing is using a system to help me get that information. It's changed the way I do things, changed the way I approach my business, and allows me to make decisions that much faster. So what I want you to do is watch this one-on-one interview about the system, about the program, and about how powerful the system can be and what it can do for you. Get your paper, get your pen ready, take good notes. I'm also going to put a link to the description where you can get a free trial of the program. It's going to be the first link in my description, or you can also go here to check it out for yourself. After your free trial is over, you will be billed, but in the meantime, watch the entire video, make a decision that can really help you and help your business grow. Get your paper and pen ready and take good notes.
Thank you so much, Julian. And hey, everybody, what's going on? My name is Burton. So yeah, let's go ahead and show you exactly how to build that seller's list you need and that buyer's list you need. So without further delay, let's go ahead and show you my screen. This is Propstream right here. Just a little quick history on us, just to get the formalities out of the way. We've been collecting data for you for over 15 years. And so the idea is that you don't really have to leave to get data. And we're not talking about just property characteristics. We're talking about distressed listings like a pre-foreclosure, a lien, etc. You know what? Enough talking. Let me just show you exactly what I mean. Julian, do you have a market you'd like me to run this example in today?
Yeah, let's try Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, love that. So I'm in Southern California. Southern California kid like me can search Atlanta, Georgia, and what PropStream is going to give you in this example is 300,000 records that we've collected for you on your behalf. So you don't have to get up and go to Atlanta's county office to get records. Here they are. And if you wanted to, you can go through every property that we have on our database simply by just clicking on the address. We're going to show you all of the details that we've connected. What we're seeing here, just to briefly kind of overview it, is that for those that are new, back in the day, this data was scattered everywhere, right? If you're ever familiar with like a shotgun shell, when you shoot a shotgun shell, the BBs scatter everywhere, right? So imagine collecting every one of those BBs and then reconstructing it, right? That's what we did. This data was scattered everywhere. You had to go to one provider for the mortgage data, the county for another data, the lien holders for the lien data, the HOA for the HOA data, etc. We're doing that for you. So when you click on any of these properties, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get property details. You're going to see if it's in an HOA. You're going to know how many years of ownership. You're going to see that mortgage information, etc. We'll get back to this in a little bit later, but this is what's happening when you first search a market. In this example, Atlanta. Now, here's what you really should be doing. Once you pull up a market, you're going to want to go into the filter. And once you're in the filter, you're going to have many quick list choices to choose from. Now, you saw the first 8, MLS, all the way down to high equity, and those are included here as well. So this is why I encourage you to just go straight into the filter. You'll thank me later. Once you're in the filter, the first thing you'd like to do is choose a list you'd like to attack or work with, right? So again, this is what I call the traditional method of finding leads, is that once you're in a market, just like investors in the heyday, they would have to start with a list and then from there refine that list to find the exact leads they're looking for. Let me explain what I mean. So we have 19 quick list choices for you. Let's say today I'm looking to find motivated sellers, and the category that I'm looking for are the new senior or the senior owners list. These are properties that have been owned for 25 years or more. They have a reverse mortgage, or they have a senior citizen tax exemption, right? So this, in my personal opinion, would be an audience where they'd be more willing to sell than a young couple who just bought a property they're going to move into, right? So the idea here is that I'm now in Atlanta and I'm only isolating senior owners. So instead of the 300,000 records, we're actually starting with 23,000. Now, still a lot of properties for us to call or knock on doors. So in our filter, there are additional criteria that you can apply to essentially narrow down your results to the right leads that you're looking for. So to begin, do you want that senior owner to be living in the house or not living in the house? This is what we also know as absentee owners, right? So do you want that senior owner to be in the house or absent from that actual house that you're looking to buy? Or if you don't care because the senior owner, you're there to help, you would leave it under any. Now, here's the thing. We have United States Postal Service data, and they check every month whether someone's answering their mail that's occupied or not answering their mail, vacant, right? Or both. Now, why is that important? Because it's going to tell you a story. I want the senior owner who's living in the house and they're answering their mail. So if I plan on knocking on doors or sending a postcard, they're going to address that. Well, if it's a senior owner that's living there, but it's vacant, meaning they haven't been answering their mail, do you think knocking on the door or sending a postcard is effective? Probably not. With these 69 properties that we found, we'll probably need a skip trace. And that's essentially getting a phone number and email, which we do have in Propstream. Same with the marketing part. But you can also maybe need to talk to the neighbors to get more information, etc. So you get to control the situation that you're in, right? For today's example, I want occupied owners, the ones that are also answering their mail, in case we decide to knock on the door today. And once we're done with deciding whether the owner lives there or they're answering their mail or not, property characteristics. We have so many different records. We don't have just residential. Look, we get it. Most of our users are in the residential space, but trust me when I say this, you're going to evolve as an investor. You're going to go from residential to one day, you're going to want those commercial buildings like that office space, or you're going to want that actual office space. So feel free to choose any of these categories. Now, for most of us, probably going to stick with the residential. So make sure you click off residential. And then from there, choose the property type that you're looking for. We have so many different property types. The county has so many different properties that they're messing with that you're maybe looking for single family properties. Maybe one day you go to mobile homes instead. It's really up to you to decide. Now, most of us are going to be in the single family space. So for this example, we're going to select that. And from there, you have bedrooms and bathrooms, building size, just your basic property characteristics with some unique ones, like unit number ranges for those that are doing multifamily properties, maybe looking for a numbers of stories, like a senior owner who might be in a 2-story building, for example. That could be a reason they want to sell the property. So you can use that as an example. School districts, whether it's in an HOA or not, sometimes dealing with the HOA could be a headache, right? So you can find the ones that are in an HOA or the ones that are not in an HOA. So in this example, not only is being a senior owner already a lead, but you're in a 2-story building, Mr. or Mrs. Senior Owner. So you're walking up and down, right? And you're dealing with an HOA who's always telling you to water your grass, paint your house, whatever that situation is, okay? Finally, you have the MLS status once you're done with property characteristics. The MLS status will allow you to stack or suppress MLS records. So you can say things like, I'd like a property on or off market. What on or off market really means for those that are new is that, is it listed with an agent? If it's on market, it's listed with an agent, you're going to need to get that property through the agent, right? So you got to pay those commission fees, etc. And negotiating the agent's price isn't really going to be an easy task, right? Now, off market is properties that are not listed with a agent. So you have the opportunity to deal directly with that homeowner. So for this example, we're going to do off market. And now that we have off market, you can see there are 2,447 properties that haven't listed with an agent yet. And that's good because you can talk directly to the homeowners and get them on contract, get them on a purchase agreement. Now we have the pre-foreclosure bank-owned records or foreclosure records. What this means is that you can stack more motivation on top of your list. You can say, hey, you know what? Not only is the senior owner in a 2-story building and they have to deal with the HOA, but they're now in a pre-foreclosure default situation, or their house is up for an auction. So these are things that you can add. Now, here's the thing you got to be very careful about. Remember how we started with 20,000 leads? Just a few of these filters, we're down to 2,447. So that's the goal, is to narrow down to a more manageable list. But if you add too many criteria, like senior owner, 2-story, HOA, and you're in a default, you're probably not going to get that many results or no results whatsoever. Or perhaps you're in an auction, you're still not going to get any results. And that makes sense. I mean, senior owners, they've been owning these properties for a long time. Really, what would cause them to go into a pre-foreclosure, right? They've owned the properties for a long, they're financially stable. So this is not really a type you want to add to a senior search. Now, after you're done with the pre-foreclosure foreclosure filters, you get to specify the owner filters. So I'm looking for the senior owner who's owned this property for maybe 15 years or more. Owner type is an individual. Last sell date, last sell price. They own multiple properties, so that way maybe you can contract multiple properties. They pay certain taxes. They're located in a certain state, or out of state, I should say, or out of county. And that could be big. Imagine last year during the pandemic, a senior owner who's out of state or out of county. That could have been a big one to look at, right? Well, we would have to put owner occupied no for that one, and then out of state or out of county. But that's big. Remember, pandemic, no one's really traveling, no one's gotten vaccinated yet. This could be a big, big list. And then from there, you have the ability to look for our new category, which is called the pre-probate. Pre-probate really just means someone is on title and they're passed away, right? So if I hit include, what's going to happen is that you'll see these results right here. If I click on them, you'll see that one of the owners has passed away, leaving the second owner essentially left with a mortgage or a scenario where they have the property now, right? Now, probate really just means that we need to get that person's name off title, right? So, when Gwendolyn decides, I need to sell the house or refinance, well, they have to remove the name. And that essentially is when you have to do probate. Until then, she can just keep paying the mortgage, pay property. There's no need for a probate to be filed. So this is kind of like right before that process. And the cool thing about it too is that you can essentially help them with things that they might need help with, like landscaping and maybe listing the property for an agent or refinance if you're a lender. So just make sure you're ready to offer your services. But just know that it isn't 100% perfect, right? You could call someone today and they could say, we just filed probate last night. Well, it's unfortunate. So just know it's not live data. We don't collect live data with any of those categories, okay? Now, once we're done with ownership info, whether you want family transfers, etc., you have the lien, bankruptcy, divorce filters. So again, we're just adding more motivation. So do you want any of these senior owners to now have a lien, meaning they haven't been making payments on their taxes or the HOA or whatever it was? So they have a lien. It could be maybe a tax lien, right? A really bad one, like state taxes or federal tax liens. You didn't pay that. So not only, are you on a fixed income and you're paying on this mortgage on your property, but now you have this tax lien that's eating up your savings. And that could be the reason why you need to sell now. You can even stay away from those categories. No liens, no bankruptcies, no divorces, by suppressing those categories. Now you have recording dates, bankruptcy recording dates, filing dates for the divorce. You can specify lien amounts, right? I like a lien to have at least $1,500 on it. So it's at a point where it's pretty serious, right? I don't want these $200, $300 liens. I want a $1,500 or more lien, something very, very serious. Tax delinquency year. You can even see if anybody didn't pay their taxes. And finally, the last two areas are just preferences, but they could also be motivation. Like value and equity, you can say, we want properties that are valued under $500,000 or under $300,000, your call. You can put rental values, gross yield, growth percentage, but most importantly, equity by dollar or equity by percentage. No equity, no assignment fee. That's just a rule that you want to remember. So if you're wholesaling, you definitely got to have equity. Let's say we want 30% or more because we're going to get it at 70% or less, right? So this is the minimum you want to apply on average, but everybody's different, right? You might want 50% one day, go for it. Loan to value ratio, tax values you can search for. And finally, the mortgage information. So in the mortgage information, you can actually see if anybody has up to 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 mortgages. In here, you just simply click on mortgage information, and there you can say, hey, you know what? I want the senior owner, they have a lien, and they have a mortgage also on their property. Like, think about that, right? You're on a fixed income, you're paying a mortgage already, that's taking $1,500 from you, and then you have this lien that showed up on your property that we put right over here that has $1,500. So now you have to make payments on that lien. Like, how are you going to eat? How are you going to do anything, right? And that could be the reason why we need to now sell the property. So these are our filters. And as you see, what I did right now is I took a list, which started with 24,000 and just started adding things I wanted. And now I hit close and we went from 26,000 to just the 24 properties you can call and work with directly. So what do we do once we have our results? You simply check them all off, hit add to lists, create a new list. We'll call it Julian's list, and hit save. And from there, we're going to take your list of motivated senior owners with liens and a mortgage that they want to get rid of and put it in the My Properties area. Now, before we go over there, since this is wholesaling, you know, what we do contract one of these homeowners, we're going to need a buyer, right? Simple as that. So what we're going to need to do is redo a search. So we're going to hit clear all and we're going to find some buyers. So we'll go back to Atlanta. And then we're going to go into the filter. And instead of building a distressed list, senior owners, we're going to build a cash buyers list. So we'll click on cash buyers. And here's the thing I like about cash buyers and sellers. It's a dating game, right? So if you have a contract, the 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property, like one of these senior owners, they could have been a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom property. Then what you want to do is look for a cash buyer that's buying the same thing. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So here, what you want to do is residential, single family, right? Because that's what we were building a list on. And then we're going to do bedrooms. Let's say they want 3 to 5 and 1 to 3 bathrooms, right? That's the buyer I'm looking for. They're willing to buy something between 3 to 5 bedrooms, 1 to 3 bathrooms, just like our senior owners properties. And finally, I don't want just any buyer. I'm going to go into the ownership info because that's what I get to manipulate, the buyer's information. I'm going to look for an individual buyer or corporate buyer who bought a property. I want to make sure they're active this year. So they bought a property starting January of this year, right? And here's another kicker. Remember that numbers of property zone where I told you can multiply your leads? You can also find aggressive buyers using it. So I want this cash buyer. It's an individual or corporate. They bought a property this year, but the business or person also has 7 properties under their name, right? So these are your very aggressive cash buyers here. Finally, you can hit close, and here they are, 372 cash buyers you can promote your 26 leads to if you get them all on contract. So we'll check those off, add to lists, Julian's buyers list, and then we're going to go ahead and hit save. And guess where that goes? It goes into your My Properties page right over here on the left side. And remember, folks, once you're in the My Properties area, you'll be able to export this list, or you'll be able to skip trace it. So once you find your list right over here, the buyers or the senior owners list, you can check them off and export them all. Or what you can do is you can skip trace them. This is where you can get cell phones and emails. When you skip trace, your results will be in the contacts page. It looks just like this right over here. It gives you these results, cell phones, emails you can call today, literally build that list today, get a phone number today or an email today, get an answer today, right? And then call it a day. And then campaigns. This will allow you to send postcards, emails, and ringless voicemails to your leads. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys is what we tapped into earlier. What happens when one of these 26 senior owners calls you back, right? Well, here's what you do. Let's say you're walking around town and your phone rings. Hey, I got your postcard, got your email. Looks like you're interested in buying my property. Log into Propstream, and there are two ways to get to that property. The first way is you're going to go into the My Properties page, and then you're going to click on the property list that it was in, followed by clicking on the address. You'll click on the address right over here, and you'll be able to pull up that property's information. Or the other avenue, if it's not clicking on the address here, it's taking the address itself, right? Because remember, you're on the line with the homeowner. You just logged in. You want to sound really credible. Great, thanks for calling me back. I'm really interested in buying your property. Can I get your address, by the way? I don't have my paperwork in front of me. Type in the address instead of the market. The property pulls up. Remember how we had all those results on the right side? It's actually just the property now. Plus the neighbors around the property, ML listings around the property. So you can just talk with confidence. But here's where you really want to be, in the details. In the details, you'll be able to talk to the homeowner, in this case, Loretta, with the most confidence in the world, because you have the property characteristics, right? You could talk about the beds, bath. You could talk about the land and location information, like the school district. Hey, you have any kids? Did they go to Del Cap Community or the school district? Yeah, they did. Great. I didn't know that. I'm using that. I'm in Southern California, right? So what you have to understand is that there's many reasons they want to sell. Maybe the community got worse after 24 years of living in the property, right? Maybe being in an HOA could be the reason she wants to sell, or that mortgage, or those two liens that we were looking for in our initial search. So this is the property details page. This is the page you'll be on asking your questions, right? Hey, how's the property condition? I see it's about nearly 30 years old now, right? How's owning that, living in a property for 24 years, right? How is that mortgage company, SunTrust Bank, treating you, right? You're talking about all of this to find out what that pain is. And the moment they say, well, it's the mortgage that I want to sell, great. Well, I'd like to make an offer on your property. Comparables and nearby listings is where you're going to need to go. From here, you'll be able to see comparables, essentially what's sold at the public office or the MLS. That's what agents have, right? And so here, you're able to see pictures of the property. You can say, oh, okay, this property is rehabbed and it has the same characteristics as my subject property. So now you can start your offer at that range. But you don't want to stick with one. You want to make sure you're filtering and then select. I usually say 4 or more to get good results, to actually get a good ARV. And then once you have that good ARV, you're able to then calculate an average and then do your deduction from there. But that's Propstream, kind of a quick little loop on it. Still a lot more mobile app enhancements. And again, we have marketing and additional features for you to help kind of get your business going. But I hope today kind of cleared the fog on you building a list, building a buyer's list, and then how you're going to talk to the owner once that lead comes in. So Julian, back to you.
As you guys can see, this software can be extremely valuable to you and your business. Extremely valuable. I use it daily in my business, and it's changed the way I do things. But what I don't want you to gloss over is what he said. This information is paired against the USPS Postal Service. And it's updated monthly, meaning that any information that they get new for vacants, for absentee people that may have moved, it's paired against the USPS every month. So the information is updated, it's accurate, and it's the best data possible in my personal opinion. So again, I want to give you the information to make the best decision for you and for your business. If you're interested in this, guys, listen, I use it in my business every single day. The first link in my description, check it out. Or again, you can go here to get a 7-day free trial. It's a 7-day free. You can't beat that for what it's done for me, what it's done for my business, and how I will continue to use this software to grow and to scale my business to the next level. Again, guys, thank you so much. Any questions, leave a comment. We'll go back and forth. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.